Hey everyone, this is Jeff and Thane from Free Spirit Marine in Edmonton, Alberta. We're just going to do a quick chat with you guys about the new 2020 Campion Rage R22.
Good morning. So what I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of stuff on this boat on the net, and it is an absolutely wonderful boat. But some of the things that they don't talk about is how this boat actually came to be, and why they entered this market, and why we all are so hyped and excited about this boat. So to give you an idea, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I approached the existing owners of Campion to get into this multi-species fiberglass fishing market. Campion does a great job on the Explorers West Coast market, but we had a niche and a hole in our area for just a better boat. We had sold other brands in the past of fiberglass multi-species boats that were great, don't get me wrong, but just didn't seem to kind of appeal to the family mass as well as the serious anglers. So discussions were had, and the original ownership of Campion just, maybe just couldn't buy into it. But the Canadian National Sales Manager, Jason Spanier, really jumped on board on this. And so when Campion got new ownership here a little over a year ago to some people actually based here in Edmonton, fantastic group, smart people, they bought into the fishing, multi-species fiberglass fishing idea and said, we need to do this. So basically it was back in 2018, I got a chance to go and sit with the management at Campion and Neil Gilbert, and we were sitting in Branch Creek Pub in Kelowna, believe it or not, and they said, well, what do you really want to see? And so I kind of drew a picture on a napkin of what we wanted, and we had some other brochures of some other things, and said to Neil, we really need a cool boat. But what was so important is I wanted a boat that when you walked up to it, it just didn't necessarily look like a fishing boat. It had to appeal to, the family aspect, something that looked cool, but yet was really, really functional. So for those who don't know who Neil Gilbert is, check out Gilbert Creative on the web. Neil Gilbert is a marine designer. He is responsible for a lot of the Campion designs. He's responsible for a lot of the Malibu surf boat stuff, as well as like vector power boats. He's done some really cool stuff. And the neat thing about Neil is he's not just creative in the way of making something pretty. He can make it functional, and he can make it run like a dream and fast. So we had this basic conversation in November, got invited back in January to a board meeting, and I was at Campion, and we were sitting there with the guys, and Neil pops this concept up on the board as a three-dimensional model, and I was blown away. I mean, absolutely everything that I thought captured the essence of what we were thinking down the road of what a fiberglass fishing boat, family boat should be. Neil nailed it, and we were sitting with some of Neil's people and with the Campion guys, and I got pretty excited, I'm not going to kid you. We were a little concerned about price point and stuff like that, but Campion management assured me that they said, we're going to make this right, and we're going to manufacture this to the right spec. So it was kind of really neat to see the first boat on the water at the Campion dealer meeting for 2019 in August. And we were at the Manteo Resort, and I just stood back and I was listening to the public's opinion as well as the dealer's opinion of what this boat looked like. And the comments were just bizarre positive. So just a really cool boat. When I got to drive the boat, I was blown away. And everything that Neil said it would do, it does. He's confident in his work, I guess, with the technology that's there now. He can basically tell us how fast the boat's going to go, how it's going to corner, how it's going to ride dry, whatever the case. It stays on a spot when you're trolling. That was very important to me. It didn't blow around. It rides great in rough water. It drives like a sports car, and it's a 22-foot boat. We had a 300 Merc on that boat at the meeting. It was a prototype boat, so not everything absolutely the way it was going to be for a production unit like we have here. but just not much tweaking to do, just not much tweaking to do. So some of the things that Neil really incorporated in his design, and we got input from other fishermen and family people, is things that they wanted to see. And storage, of course, is always a huge thing. And so, you know, you can look online and you can do the video walkthrough with Jason, as a matter, the virtual tool with Jason. And Jason goes through the boat really, really well. And Jason had his hand really deep into this whole project, and just went to town and just did an amazing job on you know, getting public feedback and looking at other manufacturers' stuff and everything they did right, and some of the things that we could tweak just to make it that much nicer. So I'm just going to spend a couple seconds going through the boat with you. But this is truly a Canadian product, designed by a Canadian man, built by a Canadian manufacturer. That's just unheard of these days. You know, I mean, it is so nice to be able to fly our own flag, and especially in these times where we've got so many trade issues and things going on, to be able to have a product that is design, concept, right to the finished product that is all Canadian is very exciting. I am absolutely just tickled with the traction they're getting in the United States as well with this boat. This is a serious boat that is well worth looking at, and I would put it up against any of the competitors out there, you know, for function for sure, fit and finishes bar none, you know. And they thought of a lot of neat stuff. So without any further ado, we're just going to walk up into the bow. Jeff's going to follow me up. Just going to give you a quick overview of a few things. So as we step up, we're stepping up on top of the rod locker, of course. We have running rod racks. So if you just want to stick your rod tips in through the end, you can put these straps over to keep your rods down. All the compartments seal. They're all on compression hinges. So the nice thing about that is there's no gas springs to reach around, no gas springs to wear out, but it stays where it's supposed to be. So if you open the lid, it's not going to slam. If you're reaching in, it's not going to slam on your hands. So we've got two cavernous storage compartments up front here. Video never does it justice. We've got a nice lined compartment here that you can use as a cooler. Fill it full of ice, it all drains into the bilge. Another running rod rack. Of course, seat base for putting your bow seat in when you want a casting deck or a casting seat or a butt seat. Bait well with a removable bucket. Again, so it's all here. So we don't use a whole lot of live bait in Alberta, but for sure, but in other areas it's important. Another great compartment, and notice those hinges. Everything's got a nice seal built into the deck, so we're right there with the rest of the industry. All our edges are finished, so you can run your finger on here, and I'm not getting any cuts or slivers. But again, that slam latch and compression hinge just first and foremost, right? I'll get Jeff to jump up here with me. One of the cool things is access point. Fishermen are always adding stuff, and that's cool. So anytime you want to get to anything, you've got cavernous storage here. But if you needed to add any wiring or any kinds of items, you know, you got easy access. The other thing is when we designed the boat, we asked Neil to make sure that any of the rigging, the tubes were separate for the fish finder or transducer wires and things like that. But we wanted really easy rigging conduits because, like I say, fishermen like to add stuff. The other thing is if you look at Campion's quality, which has always been second to none, look at the wiring. I mean, it's kind of a dark shot. Everything's neat, tidy, labeled. That's a big Bluesea panel in there. It's really easy. Now, these compartments all have LED lighting in them. So if you, like today, we don't have a battery in the boat, so I can't really turn it on. But again, cavernous storage, easy access. If you needed to get up and run more stuff to the bow, you sure could. In the bow on this boat, this is a base boat, and it has a Helix 7 in there, but we can put big screens in here. We can put Altera trolling motors. This has the Trove on there. Now this takes the big 70-inch because it's got a good bow on it, big deep bow on it, so it has the trolling motor stay. And that is all standard. So this is standard equipment on this boat. we've added the removable bracket just so you can slide the trolling motor on and off. Trolling motor disconnect switch on the bow, so you can turn your trolling motor batteries on and off. Another 12-volt accessory outlet, of course, tool holder, and more importantly, the cup holder. The boat itself can have rod holders put anywhere in the bow that's the way you want them. Some people want to put track systems on. Some people want to just flush mount them in, whatever you can do. 2 pull-up cleats on the front. And you'll notice the nose is kind of shaped a little different. It's not a pickle fork, but what they did is try to give us as much room as they possibly could. All this is covered with Ultra Deck. So again, easy to clean, soft on the feet, comfortable. So as we come back through, we've got a windshield that is automotive style. It is strong. It's not going to rattle in the waves. You can push on it. Big stainless steel supports. This is a cool looking window. Nothing in the fishing industry I've seen has a window quite this nice. Big visibility, but by the same token, still nice and strong. So as we come back into the cockpit, and I'll just get Jeff to pass me, we go into the rod storage. So the rod storage, of course, is very important to most fishermen. And you can see that we have 12 tubes, 12 areas for your rods. Underneath here, we have your trolling motor battery storage. And now these compartments are all flow through. So when you're charging your trolling motor batteries, which comes with built-in chargers, by the way, when you're charging your trolling motor batteries, the gas is not giving off or is getting vented, so it's not going to discolor your rods and things like that. So Campion thought about that stuff. Plus everything breathes, so if you put it to bed wet, it's not going to have an issue. Now this is supported on a gas spring because the size of the door, we can't get a compression hinge that's going to hold it up. But again, it's not in your way, it's nice and clean. This is also a lighted compartment. So this is locking. On the passenger side, we've got a big locking glove, or big glove box here. It's not a locking unit. So you can stick all kinds of stuff. We got a couple of covers in there for our Simrad that we've got in this one. Lots of room to stash stuff. So gear, other, papers, things like that. This also has a seal, so if it's pouring rain, it's not getting wet. USB and 12-volt outlet. Nice little tray here. This again is another rack that you can use for your net. You can use for rods. You can use for anything you want. 2 more cup holders. Of course, kicker stereo. Another tool holder. On the driver's side, this particular boat, again, I want to assure you, this is a base boat. And these electronics come. So we have Helix 7s networked together with that Tarova. This is all standard equipment on this boat. Okay, so these are the basic graphs. Of course, we can get much larger and you can get different packages from Campion, and the pricing is super reasonable. So the kicker stereo is in this boat. Now we didn't put the subwoofer in this, but there is a stereo power package. So this is all standard stuff on this boat. We've added this 5-inch Simrad, and the reason we've done that is we like the idea of having our engine gauges coming up into a digital display. So in your Simrad, regardless of engine brand, we can pull up your TAC, your speedo, we can pull up any kind of digital information off of your engine, as well as share codes. You'll be pretty familiar with this screen, especially if you're a Mercury guy. 5-inch vessel view is basically the same screen and has the same function. But again, we can put big Solex graphs in here. There is cool brackets that Campion's worked on, so you could mount 2 12s, 2 14s in this area. So there's lots of stuff to do. But in this area, you can also get the 11-inch Campion Command. And what Campion Command is a touchscreen pad. Again, you're gauging, all that stuff's in there. Your switching for common items is in there. Your stereo then becomes controlled in there. And again, we can get your engine functions. But this is a base boat again. So what it has is lighted standard kind of switching here. So again, very nicely done. Flush mount push switches. Tilt steering, of course, is standard. Custom steering wheel. Driver area, of course, nice ultra deck, cup holder. Kicker, it's easy to put a kicker control on it if you want. There's a nice little cargo netted package here so you can stash stuff in there. 2 drink holders, so a driver can have 2 drink holders, another tray. What Neil had done is stuck storage wherever possible, you know, down there again. And those drain. They don't just fill full of water when it's raining. Again, big cavernous compartments in the back. That's the Livewell divider we actually have in here. You notice that every compartment's got ultra deck in it and some kind of Rage insignia on it. Everything is neat and tidy again. All the edges are sanded. They all seal. Compression latches. Nothing is halfway on this boat. Nice captain's and driver's chairs with flip-up bolsters. You can get an optional air ride seat if you want. Again, we're standing in a base Rage. This is a base boat. Storage similar to this on that side. Then we come around to the back. I'll just fold these seats for easy access. We have a floor panel here that opens up. We got a little water in the boat. That's a good sign. I guess it doesn't leak. We've got access to the pumps, the Livewell control valve, so if you needed to get to anything. Everything Campion has seacocks on it. So literally, if you needed to change anything, you can close the valve and do it in the water. That's kind of unique. It's something they've learned from the offshore stuff, but it's not always done in all the freshwater boats. So again, 2 cranking batteries go in here. We have compartments in the back here. Again, here's our access to our chargers. And again, guys, this is a standard boat. So we have a 2-bank charger and a 3-bank charger. So this has got a precision chargers. This is not cheap base stuff. Nice little Plano boxes here, but keep in mind you can put hundreds of Plano boxes in the storage. Floor drain, so you can wash the boat out easily if you get a wash down. Our Livewell control system, all our controls are at the back by the tank, so you're not running to the front. It's a whole lot nicer to be able to do everything right in the back. Another nice compartment here. And these are, like I say, are huge, and the video won't do them any justice. Same thing here. You got another bait well bucket, and you can put the bait bucket back in here. So again, you've got all kinds of options for bait and stuff like that. Here's our Livewell in this boat. This Livewell, we pull the divider out, just makes it a little easier. It is lit, it's recirculating, it has an oxygenator in it, it's got a pump out in it. It is painted a nice light blue, so it's a calming effect on the fish. It's all sealed, it's a pressure Livewell, which is pretty popular these days, so you can fill it right full so there is no slosh. So for the people that are tournament anglers and are worried about their catch, hey, I get it. You can fill this thing right full and not have your fish banging around inside. There's also the divider we've seen in the compartment over there, so if you want to keep your fish apart, you can. They got a buzzword coming up for 2021 for their Livewell. It's kind of unique. Watch for that. So again, this is all lighted. We have storage trays that drain on either side. So some people put their culling stuff in here. Some people, you know, want to put some pliers, some other things. But again, great big Livewell in this boat, holds a ton of water, but nicely done. It'll protect your fish. Across the back, we have an optional ski bar available. This boat doesn't have the ski bar, but you can add the ski bar if you like. So it just kind of slides in beside the stern light. Big swim platform. Nobody in the industry's got a swim platform. You can back this boat into some waves. You're not going to get water up into the cockpit unless it was really, really bad. But at the end of the day, the swim platform with a nice pull-out ladder is great for the family. So if you've done fishing, want to go tubing or vice versa, people can get in and out of the boat. But you also can walk right to the back of the boat. So the nice thing about it is if you've got a big pike or whatever and you want to get, you can be right at the back of the boat. You're not always pulling it over the side. Rod holders in the back. It is all designed to take whatever track system you like, Birch track, Cannon track, you know, the options are countless. So you can put downriggers, everything on this boat. At the back, they have a little flip up door here. It's kind of going to be hard for Jeff to show you, but in there is your battery on off switch. That's where your charger plug is, your battery condition, everything's there. So you can do that without even getting in the boat. We have bimini top option. We have full convertible top. So top, side windows, back curtain, bow cover, you can zip yourself in. That's all available for this boat. You can decide whether you want it or you don't want it, right? So as I've said, we've got a nice full-featured fishing boat that does not look like a fishing boat. And a lot of people, when we had it at the Edmonton Boat Show, and of course this year was kind of an oddball show because it was only open for 4 hours, but we had these right by the door and the comments were unbelievable. And I kept hearing, how come they put a trolling motor on a surf boat? And when they looked inside, their face lit up. And people that didn't want a conventional looking fishing boat, wow, it really was a treat. This is this is a base boat. We put a $250 on this boat and it's a $90,000 ride. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but boat, motor trailer, electronics, everything you need on a custom easy loader trailer for $90,000 bucks. So it's pretty hard to beat. So give the Rage a good hard look. Keep in touch with us. Keep looking for more videos on it and different things. There's options coming out on the Rage all the time. This is an up and comer. Thank you for your time.